Hey, this is Tony, and here are my top 5 games of 2019. Number 5, Tangle Tower. The developers of Snipperclips and A Murder Mystery. I didn't quite know what to expect when I started this game. What I got was a really interesting murder mystery that was filled with twists and turns and unexpected events. The game is similar to a point-and-click adventure where you click around the environment looking for clues and interview the people in the area. The stories were so well woven together, and by the time the game was finished, I thought I knew for sure who the culprit was, but I was wrong. The game is part of a series of games starring the characters, and now I know that I have to go back and find some of those previous entries in the series. Number 4, Dragon Quest Builders 2. The first Dragon Quest Builders was a great game. It took all the best bits of Minecraft and added a proper RPG on top of it. As a bonus, that RPG was set in the Dragon Quest world, and that hooked me. I didn't expect to get a second one, but I'm glad we did. The developers improved some of the issues with the first game, like boss fights and exploration. They were just better handled this time around. Building felt better. The world felt more connected this time around. There was no need to start over in each chapter of the game. You just built on top of what you've been working on and gained new materials to build with. Multiplayer was a nice change to the game, but I would have liked for it to be better integrated into the story. Overall, though, the experience was great, and I can't wait to see what Dragon Quest Builders 3 holds and how they tie that into the now 5-game story of the original trilogy. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. My favorite Zelda games have always been the 2D entries in the series. I had an original Game Boy, and one of the few games that I had for that system was Link's Awakening. I played it off and on again throughout the years, but this new entry made the game feel fresh. The updated visuals are a perfect way to keep the charm of the original pixel art and at the same time update it for a 3D game. The small quality of life changes, such as no more screen scrolling and more buttons to map equipment to, were natural updates to the experience. The Dungeon Maker was a nice addition and exchange for the camera shop, but it feels more like a proof of concept than a proper dungeon builder. If this is a test for whether or not Zelda Maker could work, it does a good job. If you've never played a 2D Zelda game, this would be one of the 2 I would suggest to start with. Every Switch owner needs to have this game in their library. Number 2, Cadence of Hyrule. The announcement of this game came out of nowhere. It was announced during a March Nintendo Direct, and it immediately became one of my most anticipated games of the year. No one expected a Zelda spin-off developed by a small indie developer, and that a Zelda rhythm game could work. When it was released, the developers proved that it could. The game was fantastic, and the soundtrack was easily my favorite of the year. Later in the year, the game even received a free update that added a new playable character and a single-player story. I have a few ideas for other spin-offs this developer could work on. Nintendo, give me a call. Number 1, Luigi's Mansion 3. Was there ever any doubt that this game would make it to the top of my list? I've never hidden the fact that this franchise is my favorite of all time, and this game took everything about the 2 games before it and just made it better. Gone are the bland ghosts from Luigi's Mansion 2. The bosses once again have personality. From a ghostly knight to a movie director to a deadly gardener and a DJ, the bosses are all unique. The game does feel a little more linear than maybe it should have, but the variety of levels kept the game from ever feeling stale. The game's multiplayer is the best in the series to date. I've played the entire game in co-op, and while the game can be played single player, it truly does feel that the game was designed with co-op in mind. So many of the game's puzzles relied on having Luigi and his new companion Gooigi doing things at the same time. It made the game so much more fun having my kids there along for the ride. It's my favorite game of the year. It's my favorite franchise of all time. Luigi's Mansion 3 is simply the best game of 2019. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.